Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And we are here to preview Wolves versus Manchester United. Welcome. Hello, and everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. It's Thursday, and I am back. It felt like an eternity. Christmas is out the way and done with. So, guys, as always, we're joined by Mr. B, sir. How are we doing?
Good, man. I'm real good, boy.
How is that broccoli going? Because I heard they sort of, done a couple over Christmas just for you.
Due to the fact that Fred let down Man United supporters and scored the third goal, I will be eating broccoli tomorrow. As you would probably understand, broccoli is not one of my favorite things to eat, but a bet's a bet, and I lost. So thank you very much, Solo, and thank you very much, Bill Baggio. I'm sure it was Bill.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? As I said, when Fred came on, straight away I went, he's going to score. And the whole watch along, I could hear you saying about Fred's not going to score, Fred not going to score, Fred not going to score. I wish he scored two, because it means you'd be eating more broccolis. You'd be eating a lot more broccolis. Pat, sir, welcome. How are you doing?
Not bad, lads. Not bad. Looking forward to this show, but I'm not looking forward to the game to the weekend. As I was saying in the backstage, Wolves are a bit of a dodgy team for us, but let's get this going.
Brilliant. Gully, welcome to the Man United Agenda, sir. Absolutely brilliant having a Wolves fan on. And you probably be smiling a lot more than what we are as a Man United sort of fan base, because I'm worried about this game.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. I think it's become a fixture we actually look forward to, especially since we last rejoined the Premier League under Nuno. Obviously, it's coincided with Man United not quite featuring the top end of the table as often as they have done, and have kind of taken a dip from which they're recovering from to an extent now as well. But always a big game for any club in the Premier League, of obviously having Manchester United down at their home ground. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to it, but you're more excited. But guys, we've got to say, send our wishes out to Pele family. What a goat! And as I said, I call him the real goat. Passed away today at age 30. What is it? 30? Wow. Okay, 82, should I say? It is a sad time in football, and our respect goes out to his family and closest allies to him. And he will be missed, because he has been an ambassador for football for many years. And unfortunately, in his lifetime, he's always said he wanted sort of an African team to win the World Cup. He was very close to won this World Cup, but unfortunately, we'll never get to see that if it does happen in his lifetime. So, guys, for Pele and his family. So, ready, guys, we are going to go with the show first things first. We've done a bit of intro. So what we want to do is find out a little bit about Gully and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, really. Obviously, you are a YouTuber, you are a Wolves fan, so give us a little lowdown about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm part of the wider Wolves fancast podcast group, who initially obviously started out through the audio kind of medium, but branched out into YouTube in the last few years. And I specifically do a show pretty much every week on tactically analysing the previous fixture, picking out a few trends and whatnot, and just seeing what kind of themes are pulled out. It's been a bit of a strange time recently, given we've obviously changed manager, and it's very intriguing off the back of that to see how we look as a side. I don't think you can read too much into our last game against Everton as to how we are going to set up long term under Julian Lopetegui, but yeah, for sure, it's definitely an intriguing part of what we're doing now that we've got a new manager, and look to be bringing quite a few new players into the fold as well.
Brilliant. And as what Pat said earlier about not looking forward to this game, so we're going to break it down first. Last two meetings, Manchester United at your ground hasn't really and truly gone down well for Manchester United. Obviously we change managers now, so what is probably the expectation you're looking for in this game? Because our record against you guys at your ground is really terrible.
But like you say, it's a different prospect, I think, at the moment, because I would suggest you've got a genuine elite coach at the helm now, who will probably set the team up a lot better. I don't think it's harsh to say, especially last season in the 2 fixtures we played against you, I would say United were one of the worst teams I saw out of possession, in terms of being able to kind of get at the defence. The midfield was quite easily bypassed and created a hell of a lot of chances against you guys across both games. So you were, I guess there was a degree of fortune. I mean, clearly we weren't a clinical team whatsoever. We scored under 38 goals, under a goal a game last season, which was really, really poor on our front. But it was a testament to the fact that, clearly United were underachieving and underperforming under Solskjaer and then under Rangnick, that we managed to probably right the wrongs, I would say, of the first fixture. I know you guys won at our place, but then being able to go to Old Trafford and pick up 3 points, I think was really probably justified ultimately over the course of the 2 games.
Yeah. So, Pat, go to that one quickly, what Gully is saying there. Obviously, we got the 3 points at Old Trafford as well. And I believe that was a record, wasn't it? We set a record for a very long time where Wolves have not beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford for a very long time. And it's almost like that season, last season, every record, not only Wolves, but every record we had set against other team was broken.
Yeah, it was 40-something years since Wolves had beaten Manchester United in Old Trafford. And I remember it well, Errol. Every time we lost a game, no matter who we played, there was some sort of new world record. Even the Guinness Book of Record, I think, was getting brought up by the commentators at that stage. But listen, when you bought us last year, you're dead right in what you're saying, Gully. We were so poor in the midfield. We were just getting bypassed all the time, and it was heartbreaking to watch. But one thing I didn't notice about the Wolves setup last year was he's kind of changed your defensive lineup all the time. Sometimes it was a 4, sometimes it was a kind of a 3-5-2. Are you sticking to that this year? Have you been changing it? Have you a more solid formation, or are you still kind of interchanging your formations?
Obviously, prior to Lopetegui joining the club, it was a bit of a strange start to this season. We were bottom of the league going into the World Cup and that, and so obviously things hadn't gone well. But up to that point, we had officially kind of embarked on a transition to a back 4, especially with the departure of Conor Cody. I think that really kind of cemented that, with him going on loan to Everton. He didn't start, obviously, the first game of the season. He was on the bench, which was almost kind of ripping off the plaster of what has been a system that's worked so well for us ever since we came back to the Premier League. But this team is still, I think, more suited in terms of the personnel at the club to playing in a more of a counter-attacking style with a kind of deeper line and more defenders in situ. So it'll be interesting to see how we set up with Lopetegui. He has tried in a couple of warm-up friendlies both systems, and we went with a back 4 against Everton probably because we felt we could win the game. But then, having got back to 1-1, we changed it back to a back 3, and then went and scored the winner in a back 3 shape. So there's going to be some flexibility there, and it's going to be quite hard to predict ultimately, given it's his first home Premier League game, how Julian's going to set us up.
Yeah, and Mr. B with that as well, obviously, with Wolves, especially last season, we doing this channel now for a while now, and what it was, we was talking, and some of the score prediction we gave was sort of like, some of the score prediction we gave was just like, I don't know. You know what? As I said, I just don't know what we're thinking at the time, given those sort of prediction. But as what Gully is saying, at the moment, is like a player we've been linked with as well heavily is Neves. We've been always linked with him, but we've never actually gone and signed him. And the fan base is split, whether or not he's good enough or was good enough to go to Manchester United. Now, he's very key to what Wolves doing at the moment. So, can you see him like as a threat?
He plays more defensive, but for whatever reason, he always seems to slam one in from 20 yards, 25 yards against us. That's the part of Neves' game that really frustrates me, because he doesn't. he just seems to sit deep against everybody else. And then when he plays for Man United, he seems to be further and further up the pitch. So I think we should have him locked down in regards to the way that our team plays or has been playing. And yeah, out of possession the last game, as Gully said, we were absolutely shit. But I think that has changed this season. A lot of the problems we've had and have been having, I think, have been eradicated by Ten Hag. So this year, I said we gave some mad scores last season. Maybe my score prediction will be along those lines again, to be fair.
The biggest it's not just Neves. I've loved Neves for years, Gully, just to let you know, right? But it's Martinez as well. The two of them together, they just shine bright as soon as they play Manchester United, and it drives me mad every time. The two of them together, it's like they're up for it. They love it. They grow 10 foot taller when they play us. Do you notice that yourself? Or was it just down to our shitty 4-2-2 formation from Ralph Ragnick the last time that made it easy to break down? Or the fact that none of our players wanted to play?
And also, I was going to throw in that as well. And Traore, what the heck's going on with that baby oil my guy put on his body, man?
Well, I'll add to that one first because he actually went through a spell of getting a dislocated shoulder. Like it happened about 3 times in one season because he kept getting pulled back by defenders. So the baby oil was to actually try and make him a bit slippery in order to stop people. Genuine story that is.
Wouldn't you just turn around and snarl at him the size of him?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it looks great as well. Clearly, I mean, he's obviously attending a bodybuilding competition post match or something as well. But yeah, that was a genuine reason why we actually went for that. But to go back to the point about our midfield, I think ultimately they're 2 top class Portuguese internationals. The fact that they play for Wolves, I think, is not necessarily a reflection of the level of ability they have. Especially Neves, I've always thought he was better than, and the fact we've held on to him for what he's going into his 6th season now is mind blowing to me. But I can't believe someone hasn't taken him off his hands. He can be a bit slow on the move, and I think he didn't have the best World Cup for Portugal as well, which maybe has put a few people off. But Barcelona have been spoken about as potentially him replacing Busquets, and when you hear about him talked in those terms, it's still a bit of a shock to feel like we've got that kind of level of player down in Wolverhampton. He's frighteningly good, to be honest. Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking about midfield battles at the moment, so I'm going to come to Mr. B. We got to talk about obviously our midfield lining up with their midfield, Portuguese international up against Casemiro. Unfortunately, my boy Fred won't be playing. He'll come on off the bench and score a goal tomorrow, but on Saturday. But you know, at the moment, midfield battle. And what's the difference now? Obviously, Ten Hag's in, but what is the difference you can see from last season to this season, where the players, especially in midfield, where we're not losing the battle anymore?
We don't give the ball away. We haven't got Fred and McTominay wasting every second and third pass. Casemiro very rarely sprints in the position that he plays in. If you see him, he's always jogging into a position that holds. He keeps hold of possession. We've got Eriksen, who we've known about since he played at Tottenham, who doesn't lose the ball. And Bruno's Bruno. He will waste 2 passes and hit an absolute perler of an assist for somebody to finish. So our midfield is changed by all the measure of accounts. I mean, McTominay played a couple of games ago, and Talk was on the watch along with me, and all we did was swear for 5 minutes because, I mean, I'm glad you weren't listening solo. To be fair, I would have been broke. He just kept giving the ball away. So Casemiro coming back into that now. We no longer lose possession. And said players know what they're doing. Players like instruction. So yeah, at the moment, I just don't see where Wolves. I mean, I know they won it a week. They won the last game against Everton, but Everton are Everton. I just think that we're a different kettle of fish at the moment, to be fair.
Yeah. Pat, but don't you think, because I find it, and for me, watching Manchester United get against Wolves, I do find it a hard game to watch. And the reason why is Wolves just frustrate me. I think it's because of their defensive play. They like the low block. And also sort of when they do commit quite a lot of men as well. forward when they commit. And it is, for me, it's a massive issue there. So I know what Mr. B is saying. We don't give the ball away. But playing Manchester United, it's almost like in a cup, isn't a cup final for every single team.
Well, Wolves definitely play like a cup final, even though they're not playing like that, because they torture the life out of us every time. And 9 times out of 10, I know Wolves aren't the lower league side, but the goalkeepers always have a worldie against us. And it doesn't help that Wolves have Jose San there, who won't let anything into the back of that net because he's the top goalkeeper. So the biggest thing for me this time is we need to break Wolves down. We need to break them down early and take the spirit out of the game, because the spirit is what beats us every time. And we haven't had the spirit to beat them for the last easily 2 years.
Yeah, we haven't. But guys, we are going to go through some of the comments now, and then we're going to come back to the next part. But before we do so, Pat, as always, sir.
Yeah, so everyone knows GMS is our sponsor. So we're now sponsored by Global Mapping Surveys. Global Mapping Surveys are currently assisting architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D lazy scanners, and the link is in the description below. And it's in solo, so lucky that I know that off by heart.
I know exactly. Mr. B, do you remember it? I ain't got a clue.
He was testing there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I had to do it last night and we didn't have it at all.
Yeah, no idea at all. I can't tell you. Pat, would you mind going through some of these comments? 19 in the chat, guys. If you're new to the channel, just give us a subscribe. If you're not new, you know what to do. 19 in the chat. Just it's free of charge. Just hit the like button.
So we have Matthew Bassett, evening all. Mr. B, do you want to hit them up and I'll shout them out, or will I do it?
Come. Just hit the start section, big man. Can you see start?
Yeah. Okay, so big up everyone in the show and in the chat from Matthew Bassett. We have Matthew Bassett, Rip Pele, greatest of all time. We have our Miguel saying respect and peace of. I'm sorry, I'm afraid to make an absolute mess of that.
It's got to be to do with Pele.
It's rest in peace.
Yeah, Ray means the god or something like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Rest in peace, Pele. So we have our own man Omundi Juma. Looking forward to hearing from the Wolves representative. Welcome to the agenda. We have Robbie Norman, the heavies in tonight. We have Kieran Carter, Williams, yo players. Have a great show. Thanks, buddy. Oh, they're going too far. My apologies.
Yeah, you can bypass all of those ones. Don't worry about the next 5.
All right, so we have Rebel evening, lads. Hope you had a good one. The Irish greats did a wondrous stint at Wolves. Robbie Keane, yeah, everyone loves a Robbie Keane tumble now, in fairness.
Oh, Robbie Keane, that pace, that blistering pace he had, man, and those
Very underrated.
little somersaults he used to do back in the days, man. We
have Matty McMatface. He's saying still celebrating the Notts Forest result. Matt Bassett, the Wolves midfield of Nunes, Neves and Matinho is a top 6 midfield. Yes, that's what we just spoke about. Fair play to you, man. Emma Kay, the lady of the house. We broke a lot of records last season. It was mad. Yeah, that's true. Miguel saying the butcher is back. Thank God. UK Strains, a set piece last season were horrendous. We have Rebel again saying, I think Martinez is a real state of Wolves midfield. On his day, the lad runs the show. I agree. Matt Bassett asked the Wolves fans how they kept Neves at the club. He's an absolute baller. Respect. Miguel. How do you pronounce the manager's name again? Lopetegui. Ball consumes a lot of energy. I'm not sure it's sustainable in a long run. I'd imagine. I am out.
So that's all the comments there, guys. We will get back to some of them. So what we want to do is 20 in the chat, and guys, we are going to look at. It's called a solo 11. But before we do that, though, we want one person to give us his prediction for the game when it comes to his lineup, and that's Gully. Gully lineup. Then obviously SHAH. Pat spoke about him a little bit, but just give us your lineup and give us a little insight of the goalkeeper, because he is an amazing goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's good. I think when we let go of Rui Patricio, who was obviously Portugal #1 at the time, we wondered what we were getting with SHAH and whether we were actually getting a better goalkeeper. He came in from Olympiacos, but what we found was that he actually is a bit more proactive than Patricio. Patricio would just stay on his line, make saves, kind of just be quite a safe pair of hands. But SHAH will come off his line, he'll make spectacular saves, he's better in possession, and I think the team has kind of benefited a little bit as a result. So I think overall you can back him as a better option ultimately, which is a more kind of modern progressive way anyway. But in terms of who we're going to be lining up with, there's a few question marks out there. I think could be a back four, could be a back three. If it's a back four, we're likely to start with the same as the Everton game with Semedo, Collins, Kilman, and Hugo Bueno, who's an academy graduate, who's coming to the team and done really well. But if we go with the back five, Totti Gomez kind of comes in and slots in into that back three, into the middle of that. I'd like us to go with a four because I think we can get that midfield three that was mentioned earlier together for the first time in a while, which is Nunes, Neves, and Moutinho, with the potential for Boubacar Traoré to play as well, who is a little-known midfielder from France who's come in from Metz, who's brilliant at kind of getting about the pitch and really kind of making a nuisance of himself as well. And we're really, really excited about the prospect of him. And to be honest, up front, you could probably draw names out of a hat and still not expect to score a goal with the way things have been going for us at the moment. It's anybody's guess. Diego Costa will probably be the man leading the line. He is there in body, but not in spirit. I think these days he's just not quite what we all remember of him. He has a few antics which will entertain the crowd and things like that, but just when the ball comes up to him, he's nothing like the player that kind of spearheaded Chelsea's title charges under Antonio Conte. So enjoy him. I mean, it was brilliant. It was brilliant, but it's a shame to see how kind of diminished he is physically these days, because he can't really get up into a sprint anymore, and the ball has to be right on into his feet to actually allow him to keep hold of it, which is it doesn't help us the team at all, really.
But this, when it comes to set pieces, though, he'd be very dangerous at set pieces because he does a lot of grappling, doesn't he, as well? So he knows how to wind defenders up as well, little pinches, pulls, and stuff like that. So he'll be very dangerous. As much as you say he doesn't do much, for me, my worry is he can wild up the defenders. I believe he will do that to Manchester United. So in one set aspects, I'm happy Harry Maguire is not playing. I'm hoping Harry Maguire don't play in this game.
Yeah.
Because he'll be in trouble.
I feel like him and Lissandro could have a bit of a set to, maybe, if Lissandro's back.
Well,
that'd be quite entertaining.
Gully, Eric Ten Hag is always talking about Martinez's controlled aggression. Let's see how controlled he can be against Costa now on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Right, guys. As always, Matthew Bassett, mate. Big up, as always, mate. Big up. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Guys, right. Big up. We are going to go to one or two little comments because Ben just jumped on and said he subscribed to the channel as well. So, guys, please see if there's any leak this week in the Man United agenda about the predicted lineup, because normally there's a leak somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from, but someone always get it correct. So, Ben, Pat, that's all yours.
Welcome, Ben. Hi, I've just subscribed. Fair play to my mate.
Big up, thank you. So, guys, get your score prediction is as Pat's going through some of these comments. Pat, when you're ready, you take it away.
Yeah, Mr. Poachers 5000. Happy holidays, fellas. What a win against Nottingham to kick off our holidays. We have our man Box. I think De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksen, Fernandez, Rashford, Martial, Garnacho.
Can I say something? Box, can you check your messenger, please? I've messaged you something. Can you do that for us, please, when you get a minute, yeah? Sorry, when you're ready. Airman
Bill Baggio saying he has the same team as Box. Welcome, Ben, from Omundi Juma. We have Matface. Agree with Box and Bill on the team. Woo, we're getting a good one there tonight. We have Revel, David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Shaw, Malacia, Case, Eriksen, Bruno, Anthony, Marshall, and Rashi.
There's a leak in the building.
Poachers 5000 is saying slab head out. And we have Rebel, which is saying 2-1 with a 10 Hag army.
Okay, so this is the solo prediction now, the lineup. So let's remove that. So, as always, let's go Pat, because Pat's probably more nicer than Mr. B to this. So let's start with Pat and go to Mr. B last.
Okay, I'm delighted with Martinez being back at centre half. Malacia, it's only fair to give Aaron Wan-Bissaka another go out on that right hand side. He's had 2 good games in a row, so he deserves to start. SHAH, Martinez, Varane, back 4, include the goalkeeper. Perfect. Casemiro, Eriksen, undroppable at the moment. We can't live without them. Bruno. Yeah, look, I really hope that team plays well. I'm happy with your starting 11. The only one I want to do better this weekend that I'm not happy with was Anthony. Too many tricks, flicks, and flares. He needs to get down to the crux of it and do what he's good at.
Mr. B? No Fred?
Yeah, oh no, can you believe it? No Fred. I don't think Martinez is going to play. I think he's going to play Maguire tomorrow. I think if Maguire doesn't play tomorrow, he's not going to play much for the rest of the season. I think he's got one game to prove that he can that he's capable of breaking into this team. He's going to need a World Cup like performance, to be fair, and not a Manchester United like performance to stay in. But everything else, I would agree with. The Anthony one, he could probably start Garnacho. I mean, Anthony's first game back after the World Cup, so give him a little bit of slack. But apart from that, yeah, everything's good. I agree with can't fault it so far. Well done. No arguments this week.
Right, guys. And as always, quick one, Gully. Any issue you see with that? Where could you see the danger coming from this team?
To be fair, it's interesting because I mean I don't know about maybe Dallo or like you say Fred, whether they're kind of contentious positions, but really it kind of picks itself to a degree, I think. So for the first time in a while, I'd say, you know, Man United haven't really had a settled team for years, it seems now, because there has been kind of so much uncertainty around it. I think the key really is that Marcus Rashford is starting to find form again. He's a big miss, and there's a lot of mobility and skill in that front line, which I think I would have been a hell of a lot more pleased if I'd saw Ronaldo at the top of the pitch, as opposed to any of those guys, to be honest. So I think it'll be a much more difficult game as a result, and I'm not expecting it to be the kind of game that we've seen in the last couple of years against United. I don't see us controlling possession in the game and probably looking to break on the counter, even though we're at home. So, but that doesn't mean I don't think we can get a result, so for sure.
Brilliant. Thank you. We're just going to go through, guys. Also, let's get some score prediction through. But before we go for some score prediction, there's a few comments quickly. We'll just round these ones up.
Matthew Bassett, where's Fred?
I am a what they call it now. I can't remember the word they're looking for, but unfortunately, no Fred for me at the moment.
Yeah, that's Jarrett Lawless. I'm Pat's brother. Yo, big shout out.
Welcome.
Bill Baggio, Fred's the new Solskjaer. Past 15 minutes equals a Fred goal. I'd rather play Shaw a centre back over Maguire. Cheers, Uncle Pete. MUS realist. Big up, boys. Very late in the toy morning. I need Nacho. I'm a Garnacho. Toy field. Pat toy game. 2-1 United. Cheers, Mick. Kieran Carter. Williams. Oh my God. Come on, Gully. What you want, bro? Okay.
No idea. I think it's a comment. It's about the Ronaldo.
Yeah. Are we gonna buy an ST finally or what? No replacement for Cavani or Ronaldo.
Striker. Yeah. So, guys, what we're going to do now, we are going to actually look at score prediction. So, guys, get your score prediction in the comment as well. And remember, you can continue the conversation as well after the streaming's ended as well. So, sorry, wrong one. Score prediction. So, guys, in the comments, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to let Gully go last. And the reason why, I want to hear what these guys got to say about the score prediction and see what he comes up with after it. So, no interrogation here, Gully. This is... You know, we just see what they do. Because what I don't want to do is put you on the spot to begin with, and then all of them go out and give some ridiculous scoreline. So, Pat, score prediction.
It's no reflection on Wolves. But if Manchester United can beat Wolves 2-0, I'm a happy little Irishman.
Mr. B?
I'm just a little man, but I'll be honest. I'm going. I want to.
You nearly said it.
You know what? I can really see the revenge and the fact that I expect us to be dominating the game. I think it's going to be 4-1. I'm going to go 4-1. But that's, as I said, that's just out of revenge for all of the slappings that you've given us. So I think that's more why I think the players are going to have that in as their motivation.
Gully, that's why I came to you last. I will give mine afterwards, but that's why I had to come to you last.
Do you say 4-1 every week? Is that what it is?
No, listen, bro. I've been giving out losses quite a few weeks, and they've surprised me. So no, nothing like that.
I'm actually thinking, typical of this fixture. There's been some pretty dead games in the past as well. I'm going for 0-0.
Gully, you and me both. I'm going for a dead game, and I was going 1-0 Manchester United.
No, it can't be.
Hype. I was going 1-0 United. Don't believe the hype. It's going to be a dull because the Wolves just going to try and sit back as long as they can possible.
It's not that. They just raised their game. It's just, I'm telling you, every time you play them.
So, yeah, quick one, guys. We are going to go through some of these. So, would you mind just hitting these for us, please?
Yeah, Bill Baggio is saying 3-1. We're going to beat Wolves. Kerwin Carter is saying just a bit of banter on Ronaldo. Stativa Breeder, Wolves win 3-1. Echo P 2-1. 2-1 United, Rashford, Casemiro. Kieran Carter 3-1 to Manchester United. Mr. Pontus 5000 3-0 to United. It's a very positive result there. Same again, 3-0 to United. MUFC Realist. Come on, don't be bringing your 9-0s over here now, Mick. Andrew Williams 1-0 United, boring game. Good luck to you, though, Gully. That's from Kieran Carter. 2-1 United, very close game. Right. And Rebel. Who would Gully like to see sign for Wolves in January?
He'll have to tell us that on another time. We've got to cut this stream, guys. We have run over and we're holding Gully up. Sorry, brother. Sorry,
Gully, we're doing it now. Last one, Emma 3-0. Right, guys, Gully, where can the beautiful people of the agenda find you? And your link is in our description as well.
Yeah, it's at Wolves Fancast for the wider group for the podcast post-match, and at Molyneux Musings on Twitter for me. And you will find a tactical analysis of the game within the kind of week after it. So look forward to sharing that with you.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. And make sure you go over and check it out. Link is within the description as well. Andrew Williams, latecomer, big up. Right, from us tonight at the Money Agenda, guys, we'll be back tomorrow at 8:30 for the just a show, and keep an eye out for it. It's going to be called the Manchester United Good, Bad and Ugly. Make sure you tune in for that one, and then after that it'll be the takeaway as well, guys. So make sure you are liking, sharing and subscribing to the Money Agenda. But from us tonight, and Gully, thank you so much for coming on. Now we apologize for your time running over, but from us,
no worries.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye.